Well, it was 9 seasons ago. The Atlanta Falcons had a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, and the Patriots. And, of course, they came back to win in overtime. Why are we bringing this up? Well, these two teams played this weekend. They've played since then. Patriots have dominated. They've outscored the Falcons 48-3 in the two games since. So if you're keeping track, that's 79-3. They've outscored Atlanta since trailing 28-3 in the Super Bowl. Our Charles Davis is going to be on the call for this one with Jason McCourty and Andrew Catalon, A.J. Ross on the sideline. Charles, thank you for joining us here. Where do you even start with this Patriots team that is one of, if not the best story in the NFL this season?
Well, the first thing, and even before we get to the Patriots part, for all those who are still agonizing over 28-3, and understandably so, there are two people left that played for Atlanta in that Super Bowl. And one of them now plays for the Patriots, Austin Hooper, the tight end. Matthews, the tackle, plays for Atlanta. Everything's different. But where do I start with the Patriots? You start with the head coach. You start with Mike Vrabel. You start with him coming in and establishing his vision right off the top. Go back and play the press conference. Okay? Effort and finish are his non-negotiables. It's going to be the contract we sign with each other on this team. Let everybody know right out of the gate. Then work with Elliott Wolf in the front office about what he wanted in free agency. They spent the most money, I think, of anyone in the NFL in free agency, and that's paying off in a big way for them. And then they had a heck of a draft. And, of course, you better develop your number 3 overall pick from a year ago at quarterback, Drake Maye, and bringing Josh McDaniels back as offensive coordinator and quarterback guru. Boy, is that paying huge dividends already. Because Drake Maye right now, yes, you can chant MVP, but it's legit. He is in the MVP conversation because of where this Patriots team was expected to be at the beginning of the season, Chris.
Each and every week, he's doing things that even Tom Brady didn't do at New England with completion percentage and all that. How has he made – yeah, it's crazy. How has he made this huge jump from year 1 to year 2? Because he was really good last year, and we thought he would make a jump, but not to an MVP level just yet.
No, and it goes back to one thing Mike Vrabel talks about all the time with his team: make the best decisions. In fact, did we not hear that from our parents from the time we started doing anything that involved where they might not be around us? Make good decisions, make great decisions. That's what he talks about with his entire team, but really with his quarterback. And look, Mike Vrabel's a defensive coach, but he's established a bond and wants to establish a bond with his quarterback, so his quarterback is quite clear on what his expectations are of him and how much pressure they put on him to produce. Make great decisions when you're running the football, sliding, getting out of bounds, don't take the big hit. Make great decisions with the football. You don't have to push it downfield. You can go ahead and make the check down. But when you do push it downfield, make sure that guy is available and it's a one-on-one. And guess what? He's doing all of these things and doing them at an elite level, as you pointed out, Chris. I shudder whenever you hear the Tom Brady name invoked because it's way too soon. But the numbers are saying he is on that track in this type of a season. He's doing the types of things that Tom Brady once did. And by the way, 9 yards per pass attempt is a huge number, okay, pushing it downfield. But when you're doing it and you're throwing it 75% at 9 yards per pass attempt, that's just off the charts, folks.
It's wild. But when I asked you, where do you start? You started with Mike Vrabel because this really is a full team. And you look on defense, and they're doing things not seen in the last 75 years in the NFL. They have still not allowed a 50-yard rusher. First time since 1950, a team has gone through 8 games and not given up a 50-yard rusher. They've got Bijan Robinson this week, though. What does that matchup look like?
It looks like a very difficult matchup, right? Just because you haven't given up 50 doesn't mean that it's automatic that you do it every week. But your confidence should be high because, remember, James Cook didn't get to 50 with Buffalo. He got to 49. Last week, Quinshon Judkins, who came in with Cleveland, who was running it really well and actually left the game saying, I don't understand what happened here today. He didn't get to 50. You cannot create space. You cannot leave edges. You cannot leave a sliver for Bijan Robinson, because not only can he make you miss, he can break your tackles as well. He's a lot stronger maybe than people understand. And for me, the New England run defense is keyed by a guy that no one talks about, and that's their nose tackle, Khyiris Tonga. because he eats up a lot of space, eats up blockers, makes sure he creates rubble up front, which allows other people to flow to the football and make plays. And inside linebacker Robert Spillane is the ultimate cleanup man out behind you. All right, had 14 tackles last week, had 15 against Pittsburgh earlier. He is truly a seek contact type of a player. And if you keep him clean and let him run to the ball, as New England has been doing this year, he will make sure that that ball carrier goes down.
Bijan Robinson itching. He didn't get to see the ball much last week, just 48 scrimmage yards, fewest in a game in 2 years. It was just a horrific game for the Falcons all the way around last week in the home blowout loss to the Dolphins. Now, they didn't have Michael Penix. Do you expect to see him back in action this week, and how is that offense different with him as opposed to what we saw with Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I think it's tracking towards him playing, Chris, because from my understanding, he's doing his media obligations this week. And that's what QB1 does, right? Goes in front of the media scrum and talks to all of us. You know, my understanding is that he's going to do the media obligations with us as a production crew. So if that's happening, that means they feel like he's tracking towards playing. It doesn't make it 100%. I've had this happen before and a guy not play, but it does feel like, okay, they feel like he's ready to go. How are they different with him versus Kirk Cousins? His ability to push that ball downfield. Now, will he have Drake London back will be the key out wide, because Drake didn't play last week with a hip pointer. But if he has him and Drake London's getting about 15 yards a chunk when he's catching the football, that offense starts to hum, because now you've got more room for Bijan Robinson to go. Kyle Pitts is having a nice year catching the ball at tight end, Chris. I don't understand why he's about 4 yards behind his pace in yards per catch. As big, physical, strong, athletic as he is, I would expect more play for him downfield, and I think Atlanta's trying to get there. But the biggest word of all for Atlanta, consistency. This is a team that beats the good ones. Teams that won 12 or more games in division titles last year, they've taken their measure and beaten them. They get shut out at Carolina. They get beat down by Miami at home. You can't explain that. They've got to find some consistency so that all these weapons we talk about have a chance to shine.
Yeah, this is kind of lining up for another Falcons jump up and bite you kind of game against a really good team. That's what they've been doing this season. Just when you think they're done, here they come again. They need it. Sportsline giving them just a 5% chance to make the playoffs. Charles Davis going to be on the call. Looking forward to that one, Charles. As you look at the split in the wagered money so far for the Patriots minus 5.5. More money on New England in this game, 62% on the Patriots minus 5.5.